And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK show. And this is going to be episode 270. So I hope you guys had a great day and I hope you guys have a great weekend that is ahead of you. And in this episode of the MSK show, we have one topic, and it is based off of a article that came out from the Wall Street Journal talking about a lot of the evolution that happened with Warner Brothers, and then which basically led into, the merger they had with Discovery, then, the journey of finding James Gunn and Peter Safran to be their co-chairs for DC Studios, because the plan was to basically go out and find their own Kevin Feige, because the MCU has a Kevin Feige, so they wanted a Kevin Feige, and they tried to talk to Kevin Feige to poach him from Marvel. Those talks went nowhere. Then we had that legendary Hollywood Reporter article that basically announced to the world that Ta-Nehisi Coates was going to do a Black Clark Kent Superman movie set in the Civil War period. Remember that? That, I swear, that literally lit the internet on fire. I remember when I had my original, channel, we did a video about that. If it was literally Val Zod or Calvin Ellis, the two black Supermen that no one fucking gives a fuck about, I wouldn't care, because it's not Clark Kent, right? It's not Clark Kent, so I don't give a fuck. But if you're saying that's Clark Kent, no. Yeah, just no. Literally no. It's one of those things where it's like, people would argue to you, oh, but Superman's skin tone doesn't matter. Okay, cool. Then change Static Shock. Static Shock can be white then. They're like, no, but you can't do that, bro. It's different. Like, stupid retard shit. And keep in mind, even if it was Val Zod, nobody knows who Val Zod is outside of, like, people that know comic books. Like, people that know comic books probably don't even know who that is, honestly. Do people know who Val Zod is? It's just saying, like, no, how about we just don't do that? That's a bad fucking idea. That movie would have made, I don't know, $5 and a
they should have went
popcorn.
straight to animated.
No, send that shit straight to fucking Redbox. Those are movies that come out straight to directed video. No one wants that shit. Oh Lord. But as you guys know, I will be watching Superman on Monday, 2:30 p.m. PST. I will be doing an episode of Full Day of Going to the Movie Theater. I will have my Jurassic World Rebirth episode of Full Day of Going to the Movie Theater out for you guys very soon. I just have to basically film the first part and the last part, because by the time I got off on Monday to go see Jurassic World Rebirth, I could only film basically kind of like my initial kind of thoughts going into the movie, and then kind of, my quick out of the theater, reaction for watching Jurassic World Rebirth. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So expect 2 episodes of Full Day of Going to the Movie Theater. I have plenty of videos that I've already edited and finished. I just need to put the thumbnails on them and they're ready to go. So that means that, descriptions, tags, end titles, screens, all that stuff is done. Intros, outros. Good Lord, I have been so goddamn busy this week. You guys don't even know. Just Monday, having to work longer than I thought I was going to, getting home, immediately going to watch Jurassic World Rebirth, coming home, talking to these clout-chasing bastards, Bob Who Loves Movies and Grey Poupée, just fucking bastards. Then Tuesday, went out of town, signed some papers for this thing that I invested into with some very close people that I know that'll basically make me filthy rich in about 10 years, actually. So I had to go and sign, like, lots of papers. These, good Lord, California, you and your bullshit. Good freaking gosh. Then I got home. I got home late, so me and Labs Comic Fan started our show late. We had to bring that show black. Get it? We brought it black, because Labs is black, obviously. Then what happened? Wednesday, I got off early because she said I could go home early if I stayed on Monday a little bit later. So it kind of worked out technically. Got home. I was like, you know what? I'm going to come home and release these videos. Didn't matter. I passed out. Just went up and straight up passed out. Good Lord. Then we did our normal panel show. And then on, what did we do Thursday? What did we do Thursday? We didn't have a show Thursday. No, we didn't.
I went to bed early on Thursday.
Yeah. Oh, I had to work later Thursday, so we didn't have a show Thursday. We were planning on bringing back the Thursday show. It's probably going to happen next week because, schedule kind of returns back to normal. And the only reason why it changed this week was because someone had ended up getting that certain virus from China. So that's the reason why things got a little bit, switched around. Oh, yeah, me and Chaz did the Cloud9 podcast on Tuesday as well. So I had to just basically go in one podcast with a white man, one with a black guy, just really living it up. Double stuffed Oreo. That's how you guys know my life is just in topsy-turvy, as they used to say back in the day. Laps comic fan, what's up, man? How are you doing, dude? Look, it's Black Pebbles Flintstone. We made a topic. It'll be fun. Let's see. Lap says, want to be on the next stream I do. Yeah, you just got to let me know in advance, because if I don't have an advance time, I can't. But as long as you tell me the date and time in advance, then I can potentially make it happen. Just got to let me know. Or maybe you're talking to Miss Sparkles, and
He was talking to Miss Sparkles.
If that's not good.
They're coordinating in the chat to do a show together.
Oh God, yeah, I forgot. Those are clout chasers. I want no part of that clout chasingness, But how you been doing, man? What's up?
Oh, I'm alive.
Oh, it's crazy. It's interesting. We haven't had a show together when we usually do in a minute, because we didn't do one for the week of 4th of July. So the last time we did a show, fucking hell, the last time we did a show was...
That was before you went to YouTube jail.
The last time we did a show was essentially the week of the 22nd to the 29th of June. The 4th week of June is the last time we did a show. God damn. Yeah, 4th of July, I don't know, man. Did it... Okay, so earlier in the day, it was very quiet. It was actually earlier in the day, fairly quiet. When it hit 9:50, 10 o'clock, fireworks went off, I swear to you, for the next 2 hours straight. It was literally quiet the entire day. It felt like in my city, 4th of July really wasn't getting all of that much traction. I feel like every year it just kind of, ebbs and flows,
Yeah, we got an asshole living around here who has like a cannon, and he fires it off every once in a while all year round. Mm-hmm. But this 4th of July, he fired it off like 15 times during the day. You're just sitting here, then all of a sudden the whole house just shakes, and someone's firing a cannon off like 4 blocks down the road. But yeah, it was quieter leading up to it, though. But then
it was quiet. Yeah,
the day before, day of, the day after.
Yeah, because we thought, like, hey, we don't want to do the show if we have to constantly mute ourselves, fireworks popping off. Turns out that wasn't the case. People just waited till like 9 o'clock at night to light them off. Well, I guess. Okay, it's weird because there's no school. It's like summer. Kids are not at school, so you figure they just do all that family shit like during the day. But it's crazy about the discourse surrounding Superman. Lapsed. I know he's watching the show right now. He's watching it as he's banging his wife, about to go to bed, because that's what a married white man should do in his age, actually. So Laps said he'd seen it. He said he really wants to talk about it. So he made that comment on one of my podcasts. So Laps, did you like it? Or did you love it? Did you really like it, but you had some major flaws with it? Because he didn't say if he had any flaws with it. It was just like, oh, I watched it. I can't wait to talk about it on Monday. Good Lord. Laps is a crazy man when we talk about movies. This man is literally insane. I have to always steer the conversation right into the right direction as he starts going off in this white rage.
He's passionate. He's passionate and he's into it. So that's
I always tell him, he always tells me this, and I was like, dude, people are gonna have movie opinions, whether you feel like they're authentic or real or whatever. I always tell them, just scroll past them. That's what I do. If it's not an opinion that I truly feel like engaging with, I just scroll past that shit. I don't care.
What Laps just said in the chat, yes, I liked it a lot. One thing I hated. That's what I'm hearing.
That's what
from a lot of people.
Vaughn Cole, he said the same thing too. He said he actually really liked it himself, but he didn't like 2 things.
A lot of people are saying it's like, yeah, it's a fun movie. I liked it, but there are some it's not perfect. It has flaws and it has problems. Certain spots. Mm-hmm. That's what people are saying. But overall, people are saying they liked it though. It's like it was a real,
it's also crazy
real
for
good, feel-good movie.
What I keep hearing is people liking David Corn Sweat's Superman performance.
Yeah,
guys, going from Henry Cavill who acted like a plank of wood to someone who actually can show you what a good Superman iteration can do. Yeah, gee, I wonder why you like David Cornsweet more than Henry Cavill. I guarantee you right now, people will fucking forget Henry Cavill's Superman performance because he didn't have one. His Superman performance wasn't. I always try to ask you this: what was genuinely good about his Superman performance? No one will ever tell me because it doesn't exist. He had nothing about him stood out. Like there's some, I won't say cool scenes, but like he had no Superman moment. I went like, damn, that's my Superman. Like he did some cool Superman flying stunts, and he had some moments where he looked really cool in the suit. I always say he literally looks like Superman. That probably is one of the most, next to like RDJ's Tony Stark and like Christian Bale's Batman. I will say he has one of the most accurate Superman castings ever. It's actually almost like we would say perfect in some cases, but he acts so boring. He's a boring actor.
A lot of it was due to script too. Like it's not like he was given any favors, and DC or the Warner Brothers essentially had Zack Snyder turn like 8 films worth of plot into a trilogy. So the first first Man of Steel was and then you get the Batman versus Superman. There should have been a Man of Steel 2. There should have been more movies to establish, but they were just drama surrounding so that.
There was supposed to be a Man of Steel 2, but fucking hell, either was Zack Snyder or was it Jeff Johns or was the executives at that moment in time, they all kind of like collectively agreed we should do Batman and Superman together. It was weird. There's a lot of crazy stories with that. They were supposed to do a Man of Steel 2. It was supposed to be you get a Superman trilogy originally, then you get a then they were going to kind of see where things were going, but they just went straight into Batman versus Superman. And the common things I keep hearing about Superman is people like David Cornsweet, people like the cast. That's good. That's very good. People like Mr. Terrific. That's awesome. People liked oh, fucking hell. What else did they said it was enjoyable. They said it felt very comic booky, which is fine. But I keep hearing like, okay, so Vaughn said there was 2 things that really bothered him. Lab said there's one thing that he didn't like. I wonder if these things are enough for me to sour my grade on the movie. I'm not saying it will. I don't know what you guys didn't like. The only thing come on, I've been dodging spoilers like Goku was dodging Berter and Jace when he fought the Gingy Force on planet Namek. People said something about Kryptonians, but I don't know that much about the Kryptonian race as much as like Laps would, you know?
Yeah.
I know they're not barbaric to a certain extent, but like that depends on which iteration you're even talking about. Because
it all depends on which one you're going with. I mean, there's many different iterations, but that's one thing with comics and character IPs that are over 100 years old is that you start it's really hard to you start getting a lot of different kind of mixes and histories. Like when people ask me, it's like, can this character beat this character? It's like, well, which one are we talking about? Are we talking about like Grant Morrison's Superman, who was like a god, or are we talking about Tim Sale's Superman, or John Byrne's Superman? It's the levels change around for story. So, but the problem with it, I don't think Zack Snyder could have pulled it off even if they gave him full freedom.
Yeah,
but at the same time, though, he didn't understand Superman, and he doesn't really know how to write nuanced stories that you need to really let Superman shine. And Henry Cavill, he is a very wooden actor, but he does, if he had a better director and script, I think he could have done a better job as Superman. He definitely looks the part, but even though his Clark Kent was just essentially, he didn't really, there was no difference between Superman and Clark Kent. He didn't even try to look different. He looked like a Calvin Klein model when he was Clark Kent. Clark Kent's supposed to be kind of like a nerdy farm boy type, and he, like the way Christopher Reeves played him in the first, or in Superman, where he's kind of slouched down and he's
there's so many, what's crazy, dude? There's so many things about Superman that people don't even know. I mean, and keep in mind, I'm not even saying I know everything, but there's little things that people don't even know, like that origin he has, where he comes from Krypton and he lands here with the Kents. People factor in. Before, I think it was, for what I know throughout history of looking at Superman's history, John Byrne essentially made that the de facto definitive origin story for him. Like it was that specific set of events. Because I remember doing like watching a history video of Superman before that run of the character. That like origin he has is a little bit weird because what was he a natural birth through like his real mother, or was he an embryo that they created? A lot of different. There's many different iterations of that stuff. So even before like a definitive, we accept that as the character's origin. With Superman, there was a different way the writers were kind of interpreting it. You know, like also he's not even like that powerful. Like he sneezed and he blew away a galaxy. Guys, the original Superman in Action Comics #1 couldn't do that. This man was like, fuck.
I don't think he flew until
he could just leap. That's all.
Yeah, he could just leap. He didn't really even.
He was kind of like Goku
right
from Dragon Ball. Like he wasn't like super fucking Omega Galaxy Buster destroying. He was just like super. He was like kind of enhanced, just kind of super strong for a little bit.
Yeah,
you know, it's so crazy how people will just like, God, these kind of movies I love where it just exposes how dumb people really are. I can't believe I actually heard people say that Superman never raised his voice and yelled. I really want you guys to really think about that. So Superman just celebrated 80 years not too long ago. So 85.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was 5 years ago. So 2020, Superman celebrated his 80th anniversary. Holy fucking Christ! 80 years, this motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
So now 10 more years after that. So 2030, he'll be celebrating 90 years. So I'll just future-proof this episode when you guys are watching the replay many years later on for this. So in 90 years, he's never once yelled out of any comic iteration. Could have been John Burns, could have been Alan Moore's, could have been Mark Waid's, could have been Philip Kennedy Johnson's run the character, could have been fucking Dan Jurgens, could have been Brian Michael Bendis's run. None of the animated shows, none of the live action shows, none of the movies. Are you telling me he never raised his voice and yelled? Are you that fucking stupid? And people said it so confidently. She was like, that doesn't make any sense, right? I swear I had to literally
watch
log up
Superman 1 with Christopher Reeves. When Lois dies, he screams out and then flies around the opposite direction of the Earth, reversing time in order to save her. Like he had a complete freak out during that.
Did you watch Superman and Lois?
Oh yeah.
Did you watch season 2? So I forgot. If spoilers for anyone, spoiler warning. So the older son, the one that got that girl, remember how she was a drug addict? And then it was it John or is it the other one? It's John and for the other son. Oh my God. It's John and the white guy. I forgot they're both white. Jesus Christ. I forget the other son's name.
Yeah, that is true, Laps. He was
Jordan and Jonathan.
He went to an orphanage in the original Action Comics, so then the kids adopted him from the orphanage.
It was I think Jordan and Jonathan. I think.
Yeah, Jordan and Jonathan. That was it.
So remember Jordan?
He did kind of freak out on that one. It was like a scene where his eyes turned all red.
Yeah, because remember Jordan simped out for his girlfriend who was selling drugs, and he took the fall for her. Then when Clark fucking found out, because they found out that he basically got expelled. He didn't get expelled from school. It was more like he had to do a bunch of like homeschooling, and he got kicked off the football team because they found he had drugs, so that means our team is disqualified. They lost. He yelled at him. He literally yelled at his son for fucking simping out for a girl. He literally yelled at him. He yelled at Jonathan quite a bit. Like I don't know what. It's just that was the one thing I was like, man, people are just either you're not paying attention to what you're watching or you're just stupid. Could be a mixture of both, honestly. Because like you'll have people say certain things. It's like this is why I always tell people: if you're gonna watch something, I get it. They're gonna turn your brain off things. I understand. You need to actually pay attention to what you're watching. Because like Dragon Ball Z will have this a lot too. You watch Dragon Ball, right? Remember how people will tell you that Trunks could beat Cell, perfect Cell, and it's like, no, he couldn't. Like, what are you watching? What are you looking at? Like, are you paying attention? Like, I don't. Some of these questions people have are just like, I know you're not paying attention. To be fair, technically, no question is considered dumb. But if you tell me that Trunks can beat Perfect Cell or could have, you're retarded. I'm sorry, you are a moron. You're actually literally a moron. You know? Yeah, like I just don't get it. Like, I'll ask you, Labs, because you know that scene that sparked that kind of outrage from people, him yelling. Was it better in context of the movie, or is it just? It was just out of context and people just got angry with it. Hi, DK, how you doing? Oh, God. I'm old. Oh, goodness gracious. I am old. How do I make the worst analogy? You guys are all just. I'm just a genius, man. I Oh, it makes perfect sense in the movie. Yeah. Like, and keep in mind, I don't even get why people. This is something that I don't like. BVS. I think BVS is a trash movie. When people said why didn't Clark see through that bomb? Guys, it had lead in it. He cannot see through lead. Superman, yes,
lead
with
line
all
case.
yes. Superman. That's how you can tell. That's how you knew you were talking to a fucking normie. If you think he can see through lead, I mean, people are like, but he can. It doesn't matter. That's the rules. He can't see through lead. I mean, he's weak. I don't know. Don't make the fucking rules. I just tell him what you are. Or like people will say like he's not weak to magic. Or people will say he's not weak to magic. It's just deadly to him. It's like, but what?
Well, that makes you
That's
weak
a weakness.
to it. If it's
That's
deadly,
a weakness.
That means you're weak to it. Yeah.
Yeah, like like man, guys, I've had some crazy Superman debates over the years. Actually, just crazy people. They'll be like, magic's not a weakness to him. You just what? If he gets hit with magic, he feels pain. Like that's a
like a magic sword can cut him. Like he's susceptible.
Like Black
to
Adam
magic,
essentially
like
be very deadly to him because he's just as strong and he has.
It's one of the reasons why Shazam and him, whenever they did fight at the time period, Shazam could hold his own. And like if it was like Thor versus or Santana or any of Marvel or DC's characters, the magical characters, they could have a pretty good chance against Superman. But it all depends on which Superman, because he also can move almost as fast as the Flash in some instances. So magic's no good when he just crushes your windpipe and throws you into the sun. I mean,
Yeah, or it's even like when people say like he'll just you have those Batman versus Superman debates and people are like, well, why doesn't Superman just go up there and beat him up? It's like people he wouldn't do that. He doesn't do that. He's not like a person, an alien. Technically he's an alien. He's not an alien that'll walk up to you and just smash you to death. He doesn't do that. He's not that kind of person. Why people think he would just blitz up to Bruce? And because to be fair, technically he could just blitz up to Batman just with his speed. Actually, just flick him and kill. He could literally just flick his head off if he really wanted to do that. He won't do that. That's why there's certain comic books and certain movies where Batman can get the better of him because Batman knows he's not going to do that.
Well, Batman will fight dirty.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the Dark Knight Returns, he got hit with a nuclear weapon, and then Batman hit him with the entire power grid of Gotham. Then he hit him with missiles,
a
tank, and then synthetic kryptonite while wearing a power suit just so he could just beat him up. I mean,
also in context, that's a I know people kind of hype up Batman in that moment, and I like to hype Batman up too. But let's be fair here. That Superman is half powered because he was recovering from the nuclear explosion. People factor in that Bruce Wayne was fighting a half-powered Superman, and even when that kryptonite arrow popped in front of him, after Bruce let him go, he just got back up. He was ready to go again. It wasn't like it super damaged him, And
Laps made a good point too. It's arguable that's
a lie.
Makes good points. Be nice.
White guy making good points. Crazy.
It's arguing. You could argue that Superman can't die. That if you just essentially you could, even if you just destroyed his body at the point like Doomsday did, or then just leave him under the sun long enough and he could heal. He has an insane healing factor that brings him back from even apparent death if he's around the yellow sun. So it could be argued that can he even die? Because
technically, into the Superman, from what I remember, because I haven't read that story in God knows how long, he did technically die for a good period of time. I would say he's more. You could essentially immobilize him for a very long time if you're strong enough. So someone like General Zod, that's why General Zod I think is more of a match for him, and that he makes more of a sense as a villain to Superman because he's essentially the same thing except he's just evil, right? If you're just looking at it from a base concept level, that's why I didn't mind General Zod being the villain for Man of Steel, because people always say, well, he needs to fight someone on his strength level. Well, Zod actually is on his strength level. That makes him a kind of a perfect villain to have for movie wise. But I would say for TV show wise, that would be way harder to do. Which is crazy because Smallville did a great time with it in season 9, honestly. Yeah, because he technically didn't die. Because I know it's called the death of Superman, but he really died. He was kind of like just in a coma for a
Well,
while.
they thought he was dead, but it's
When someone's bleeding out and he got
yeah.
fucking
You know,
the heart.
his heart slowed down or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
also, he's Kryptonian and it's a comic book, so he can pretty much do whatever he wants. You know,
Yeah.
so
Like
but yeah,
apparently, like Darkseid can beat him up in strength when it's like that's pretty impressive. That's pretty fucking crazy. And Darkseid can fucking break a Green Lantern ring with his hand. Like
Darkseid's pretty OP. Like
yeah,
he could probably kick the shit out of full Infinity Gauntlet Thanos. Still,
like even Solomon Grundy, they say can take on the Justice League, and that's insane. He's just essentially what an undead zombie.
Well, he's like a gigantic zombie corpse, like like a Hulk zombie kind of deal. So
you know, it's crazy that people used to do those fights like Hulk versus Solomon Grundy. How about just a tie?
But it's also the great thing about comic books. It's like, you know, 1 minute you can have a writer who realistically writes Solomon Grundy beating the entire Justice League. And then you go like to a Grant Morrison kind of writer, and they're all gods that people can't even touch them. You know, you get one episode where Flash will do something that makes him look unbeatable. And then like the next writer who writes Justice League and Flash is like telling jokes and tripping over his shoelaces. You get all these different kinds of versions of these characters depending on who's writing them, and then the power levels will jump around because it's like, well, I want a Superman that actually you feel like might be able to get killed in a fight, not a Superman where he's just waving everything off and everything's, you know, while doing weird Boy Scout kind of quips. So it's fun though, because if you go through the history, like 1 minute like Batman is smoking people, then the next minute Batman, you know, someone actually gets the upper hand. So yeah, it's all over the place.
It was so weird. You know that Hush movie? So like, remember when in the Hush anime movie, not the book, where Batman fell from a skyscraper, like a skyscraper that probably is about as tall as like the Empire State Building, and he fell and he hit his head. His skull literally hit the concrete. And then they said that later in the movie, you know, fucking Thomas Elliott healed him. I'm like, this is how you know Batman is crazy. He fell because remember he was doing that zipline shit and Hush snapped it. His skull hit the concrete after falling from a skyscraper that is at least 60 feet tall. And people want to tell this, but you know why I accept that is crazy for Batman, guys. This is not a real unit. This is not real. None of us would survive that. We'd be dead. My brain would be splattered on the ground. That's why for me, when like those conversations came up, like Batman and Krypton and all that shit, I tell people this: we're accepting a logic that a baby fell out of the sky and he's a superpowered alien, but we can't accept that a human can beat an alien if he has prep time. It's just I don't get that kind of logic. It's a fantasy world. The rules make no sense. Trying to make sense out of rules that already are kind of like dumb in nature is pointless. Those are the conversations that I kind of just get away from. I'm like, hey, let's just talk about how strong they are and feats and all that stuff. Because like if we're talking about like, well, Batman really shouldn't be able to fight like Superman. Well, Superman should be a concept at all. Doesn't make any sense. None of this makes sense. We're trying to making sense out of fucking this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know?
You get a good writer and you can get a good story out of it. Like Frank Miller was like, okay, how does Batman beat Superman? Well, I'm gonna need a nuclear weapon, a city power grid, heat-seeking missiles, freaking a tank, a power suit, and then it's like, okay, yeah, this is kind of badass to watch this old man Bruce Wayne beat the shit out of Superman. But yeah, it's sometimes it's just
I hate comic book fans. They're so cringe. Like, but even so so people ask, then what would you accept for Batman as your logic? So since it's a make believe world and anything can happen, I don't believe in because so Batman to me would be countered by someone like Black Panther. I don't think he could beat Black Panther. I don't think he even beat like a Doomsday. Because so what Doomsday's thing is like what he comes back, can't be killed by the same thing or whatever. It's usually a thing for him.
Yeah, his original origin, I believe,
even his is different too. Holy fuck!
The scientist was on a super harsh planet, and he essentially took baby Dark Doomsday and threw him
the scientist guy. Yeah, I remember that.
Threw him out, collected his material, cloned him, and then just kept on doing that. Essentially, a forced evolution. So Darkseid now, like after Superman beat him the first time, when he came back, I think one of the iterations he came back, he became smart, like he was full talking,
Yeah.
and along those lines. And then in a recent comic book, he was like thinner, but he was like kind of was traveling through time or something like that. It was So he has a constant kind of evolution. If you kill him, he just comes back, and he has a
Yeah, I
he
remember.
evolves.
Yeah. So, and people will go like, well, how could he beat Superman if he can't beat Doomsday? Well, guys, Doomsday can't be killed by the same thing he was killed by in most common iterations of the character. So how could Batman couldn't kill him? Batman couldn't fight him. Like Doomsday, there's a good difference there. If you're talking to an average person, Superman is not going to walk up to Bruce and punch him. That's what he's going to do. Unless he's literally putting in life or death situation. Obviously, he's not going to blitz Batman and flick his head off. Doomsday will. Doomsday will literally get in front of him and then just take a spike out of his fist and kill him. There's a difference between characters that will do something versus a character that obviously is a crazy monster created in a lab. There's differences between there, you know?
Plus, too, you make changes to make a good story.
Yeah.
Like, so you want to introduce a character.
Mean Cyberfrog, right?
you want to introduce a character that's supposed to take it to Superman and quote unquote kill him. And so what do? Well, you introduce that character, and then you have him single-handedly whoop the entire Justice League except for Superman. So he takes out everyone. He did part of it with one arm still tied behind his back while he's fighting them. And so then you establish that. Well, then let's fast forward to Michael Turner's art story when it was Batman v Superman, when they introduced Supergirl, and Batman's like fighting Darkseid, wearing like this weird kind of like sort of gear that allowed him to fly around and stuff that he got from Miracle Man at the house there. So it's like 1 minute, Batman can't do nothing against Doomsday, but then the next minute he's fist fighting Darkseid. So a lot of it's just playing around with the power levels to make a good story. So it's kind of, some of these people get too critical into it. It's like, well, 4 arcs ago, this happened. Well, it's for a good story. So that's, so just
before we
relax.
Before we get to the topic, okay.
Oh,
when
yeah.
I'm mentioning
By the
this,
way,
guys.
the topic.
When I'm mentioning this, guys, I know this person. I know he's a good guy. I like this guy a lot. How do you freaking hell? That's sharing your screen is so weird in StreamYard now. Everything changed. I like the old layout. They kind of updated the layout. If you guys have StreamYard now, they updated and gave it a lot more, gadgets and all that stuff. So here is this. Keep in mind, I've had Price of Reason on the show. I know he's just doing this for engagement because he just loves getting people just riled up, or he's just fucking with people. Did you know James Gunn hired Rachel Brosnahan to appear in Superman and then had her dressed like a dude? Real life DCU. Well, buddy, she's not gonna dress like this working at a 9 to 5.
Yeah, going to a newspaper and being a professional reporter.
Yeah, cool.
She's not gonna wear an evening gown with a boob window when she goes into work at the Daily Planet.
Price, she's not gonna walk in. Price, she ain't walking into her desk looking like some fucking whore on the street.
Yeah, with like 8-inch fucking heels and a boob window. That's not
Not just that, you can see the whole rack there. She got some pretty nice. You're looking pretty good. But yeah, and keep in mind, even if she looks like this looks. I think she looks fine here. I think that looks completely okay. Honestly,
she's a beautiful woman, and she's a talented actress too. So it's going to be good to see her as Lois.
Who do you think looks better, the lady in Superman and Lois, or her, or Amy Adams? Because there's a lot of Loises that's playing. Holy shit! I didn't like Amy Adams. I think Amy Adams is fucking trash. Honestly.
I like her as an actress, but she didn't do great as Lois.
Awful, right?
Yeah. I liked the one that was in Superman and Lois. She's a good actress, and she
wasn't super beautiful, but she'd be like the girl that you're like, okay, you're not that attractive, but I like your personality kind of thing.
She reminded me of the one that played Lois in the Christopher Reeve's Superman. She kind of still had that kind of same look as that Lois. So yeah, but I'm interested to see the new girl because she's a good actress and
you're watching it for the plot, obviously.
Oh,
obvious. You're obviously gonna watch the new Superman movie for the plot. Same reason why I Same reason why I went and watched Jurassic World Rebirth. Just, you know, we haven't seen it. So anyone in the chat right now, if you're saying something, I do not even know what you're talking about because I haven't seen it. I'm watching it Monday. It sucks not watching it opening weekend because I could be participating in the conversation. It's okay. Just keep in mind when you're mentioning that in the chat. I've not seen the movie. The only thing I've heard is that people like it and there's some major flaws. So keep in mind for me, when it comes to me, when I talk about movies, if I'm reviewing them in my head, if there's like, we'll just use numbers. So let's use round number. Let's use 10, right? So let's say I like 7 things about this movie. Then let's say I dislike 3 things. Well, the 3 things that I disliked are not going to heavily knock down the movie, in my opinion. Now, if there's more to dislike than there's more to like, then I wouldn't like the movie, obviously, right? Just a scale that I like to kind of, use in my brain, All right. DK says, I have a room, but my wife might not accept it. Tell your wife who pays the bills. Then she who's named on this lease here. Hey, I was just saying though, I would eat Rachel is her name Rachel? Is it fucking hell? What's her name? Jesus Christ. Rachel Brosnahan. Oh my god, yeah, I would definitely eat her ass. I would definitely
we should get on to the topic.
Yeah, you're right. Topics. Topics. But hey, I always tell people this. If you're someone where, just keep in mind, I will okay, we'll go over one quick thing before the topic. I promise.
I've been trying to get you back.
I'm trying. Okay.
Into the steer back. Here we go.
Not Geeky Sparkles. Is that her name? Geeky Sparkles, Keon's wife. There we go. Found her. She pretty much summed up how I usually see people's movie opinions this morning. She had a nice little thread on it. Overstuffed. Jesus Christ. Someone had an article that literally said Superman is a gay icon. Like, what? What? What the world?
Gay icon.
The gay icon created by Jewish people? Good Lord. Good Lord. Good Lord. Good Lord. Yeah, Superman, the gay icon that was created by 2 Jewish people. Yeah, surely they wanted their kids to grow up putting dicks in their ass. No. The fuck? Good Lord. Weirdos. They see 2 dudes hanging out. They're like, they're gay. They're sucking dick. Okay, so Geeky Sparkles had this to say. Not Miss Sparkles. Geeky Sparkles is based and white. The discourse around Superman, you are allowed to like it. People are allowed to not like it. Most are split on it. That being said, some who are usually critical of everything like it, and some are claiming if people didn't, they are trying to just find issues with it. Yeah, people will always kind of justify why someone else doesn't like something. That's just kind of how people work, honestly. That is hypocritical and unfair. I have always been honest on my thoughts. I took so much shit over saying the Haunted Mansion wasn't woke and wasn't bad. I said Barbie was narrative. Elo was terrible. You don't have to agree, and it isn't always pandering, especially here, as it seems pretty split on it. It's always okay to like or not like something. Everyone has different opinions, and that is fine. Sometimes people simply find things meh. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. People got mad when they were called out for not liking things like The Last Jedi or New Raw or whatever, but doing it to others is the same thing. Just enjoy what you enjoy, but understand not everyone agrees, and that is okay. Yeah, Yeah. Also, if you like it, I'm super happy for you. I like the cast so much, but James Gunn is himself. Oh, okay. No. That's too much right there. Don't need to have that part. But I agree with that too. I think a lot of people need to understand just because someone was critical of one movie a certain way does not mean that it'll just fucking, translate and all that stuff. Like, it's actually crazy. Here's the best way of me putting it. There are a few content creators out there that have basically made it so that you care about their opinions more than you care about your own. Not people that are watching. I mean, I don't know who you are. I hate all you clout chasing fucks, honestly. But like, let's say hypothetically, I know Gary Nerdrotic said he didn't like it that much. Or he said it wasn't woke, or he didn't like it that much, something like that.
I don't know if Nerdrotic would have liked it at all. I question sometimes when politics is involved, and Nerdrotic likes to get into those kind of politics stuff with the woke, unwoke stuff along those lines. I question on how objective his opinion is when they review this stuff, because are they coming from actual good faith, or is it no matter what they saw, they were going to find something to dislike about it? You see a lot of nitpicking. I'll have to watch it for myself.
Yeah,
but I have heard a lot of people, who are usually very critical of the woke stuff saying, no, this was not woke. It's fine. This movie.
But then that goes into another thing too, because if it was a movie that you agreed with him on, you wouldn't think he was. I'm just saying you're saying this, but people wouldn't think he's lying to them. That's why people need to understand that you're not. This is the best thing. You don't always have to agree on everything, because if we both agree that The Last Jedi is trash, then if I said that a different movie is good and you said a different movie is bad, then was I lying about The Last Jedi then? You know?
Yeah. And also, too, I've heard that this film is very much a James Gunn movie, and that doesn't sit right with everybody. Not everyone likes James Gunn's style. So some of these people, Neurotic being one of them, could be just not jiving with Gunn, which happens. I mean, there's Snyder Bros out there that this could be Schindler's List of superhero movies, and they're still going to call it crap. There's people who, as soon as
because there are people that basically, before the Snyder Cut came out, remember?
Yeah.
His fans already liked it. Before they even saw the Snyder Cut, they were already in love with it because they spent 4 years on Twitter every day obsessing over it. And I see what you're saying. I do. Because there's people people, it's weird because I think last right here, but there are people who obsess over if Gary or Jeremy or Ryan like a movie. It's you see what I'm saying? They spend so much time trying to talk about their opinion about the movie than talk about their own opinion. I tell you guys here, I want you to. I'm not saying you have to agree with me when I do watch it. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is you should care about how you feel about the movie. If someone doesn't like fucking hell. Someone doesn't like Spider-Man 2. I don't know how you could. That movie's fucking fantastic. I'm not going to convince you to like it. I could give two shits in a popsicle if you like Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, I mean,
I know I'm not going to dislike it, but if you do, that's fine. But I'm not going to spend 10 hours of the day on Twitter being like, oh, well, he didn't like Spider-Man 2. Now it's time to just tell you 2 hours straight why it's good. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
Yeah, and if they don't like it, if they could sit down and we could sit down and talk about what they don't like and actually have a good conversation about the film and along those lines, then that's a good time. But some people are just like, I don't like it. Why don't you like it? Because I don't like it. It's like, do you not like it just because everyone else likes it? You're never going to have a film where everyone says it's great. There's always going to be one asshole
out there
who's
who
going to stand
don't
up
even like The Godfather. There's people out there that don't like Jaws.
Yeah, you're always going to have a contrarian because a contrarian makes them feel special. So that's always going to happen. And you're never going to please everybody. But the Thursday projection or the Thursday take for the movie was $22.5 million. So that's on a limited screen with limited showings. That's pretty good for a one-day take. We'll see how he does over the whole weekend. It seems like everyone is very positive about it. James Gunn's already talking about a Mr. Terrific TV series spinoff, possibly a Jimmy Olsen spinoff.
Well, no one wants Jimmy Olsen spinoff. No, Mr. Terrific, fine. He's smoking crack. Ain't nobody trying to see Jimmy Olsen spinoff.
But
Warner Brothers, about that Amanda Waller spinoff, right? Remember that? No, I don't want to see that shit.
The Warner Brothers CEO was talking about their plan is to move towards Justice League. They're going to do 2 live action films, multiple TV series a year, and 1 animated series a year. That's their output plan. And I think
we should probably get to that. Yeah, before I get to that topic. Oh,
let's get into that last hope for
Last
DC
Hope.
Comics.
Oh wow. So Damn, I almost hit the end stream button. You guys didn't see that. That would have been an L. I would have just AFK'd, went to bed. I'm like, fuck tonight. It's over. I had a Pepsi. You could win cash prizes instantly. That's a random title I could have for a show. When I have no topics, that'll be the title. We're already getting a Mr. Miracle Tom King executive produced show. Anything's gonna. Is Christina Hodson still an executive producer on the? Whatever, it's fine. It's okay. James Gunn went out of his mind to hire Christina Hodson. That is insane. That is actually insane. She wrote awful fucking movies. Guys, just watch Birds of Prey, and you'll tell me why Christina Hodson should be anywhere near this new universe. Just watch that movie. You tell me if that epitome of great cinema right there is needed for what DC needs to bring back the fans. No, I don't care. Come on, what I just said there. I didn't say you don't have to dislike Birds of Prey. I just said I don't like it. And I think it's fucking awful. That is probably one of the worst superhero movies released in the last 15 years. That movie is bad. Awful. Awful fucking movie. But hey, if you like it, cool. But I think your opinion sucks. And your mom had sex with me last night too. So.
And I question if you watched it.
Yep, Birds of Prey was certainly a movie. How did Morbius get that movie of all time, but Birds of Prey didn't? Birds of Prey is literally, I shit you not, people, it's one of the worst super movies ever made in the last. Damn, fuck. Probably, we have to rank that. We got to do the worst superhero movies in the last decade. That'd be a good fucking topic for an episode of the show.
Speaking of topics, we have one for tonight too.
Oh yeah, sorry, right. All right, so
focus.
Let's focus. Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about the last hope for DC Comics to match my asshole from getting blown out by Tom King.
You were doing so good. You
know, it's crazy.
Oh.
Okay. I messed up. There's not supposed to be comics in here. It's supposed to be Warner Brothers. Hold on. I don't want to fucking retitle this later on. Okay. Oh, don't lose faith in me. Guys, Warren lost faith in me. Technically. Okay, hold on. I have to go to Twitter.
As if I ever had faith.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for saying the quiet part out loud. Holy shit. Don't worry. We'll get it done. Don't worry. Have I ever let you guys down?
If he's let you down, chat, put a 1.
What the fuck?
If he hasn't let you down, put a 2.
Oh my god. I can't believe I had that title there. Good lord. All right. Hold on. We're gonna go straight into it.
And thank you for chat. You guys are always awesome. DK Bones, Laps, Miss Sparkles.
Oh yeah, Tiamat was here tonight. Oh, because Tiamat had said, "Oh, I can't make every show." That's fine, man. People have lives. Don't have to worry about it, man. It's
just
okay.
I'm just talking to the chat. WZ's in there. What's up, chat? Hello, best chat in YouTube.
Fuck Laps comic fan. I heard he likes pineapple on pizza. Disgusting human being.
You're so mean to the chat now. Be nice to you.
I hate everyone. Oh god. But no, I thank you all for showing up. It's late on a Friday night, so you all should be in bed getting your backs blown out or blowing out someone's back, but you choose to watch me. Oh god. I give you guys so much money here, but I know what you guys are trying to do. You're trying to guilt trip me. It's okay. We're gonna focus. We're gonna get this topic done. This will be a great clipped video for the channel. Also, I know you guys like when we do these clip videos. It's people have asked, am I gonna do solo ones again? Doesn't really matter. You guys like when I talk to another person on like the video. The reason why I do these is to basically substitute myself doing the videos myself, because I did videos myself ever since I started doing YouTube, honestly. But when you have that second person there, they provide that different perspective from what they're looking at it from, and it just adds more to the conversation. I can do stuff on my own, but you guys like when I talk to other people. So, good lord, I'm just giving the fans what they want. It's okay. All right.
More of me.
Less of laughs. Right. Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about the last hope for DC and Warner Brothers to match the success of Marvel and the MCU. Man, it feels like just yesterday, Warner Brothers announced they were going to do their own cinematic universe to compete with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And in 2013, we got the release of Man of Steel, directed by Zack Snyder. That was the same year that I graduated high school. And 12 years later, we are on another reboot for, Warner Brothers and DC to have a cinematic universe, actually. No, I shit you guys not. It's literally been 12 years. And what's crazy is that even before Man of Steel ever came out, do you remember when they tried to basically start the universe off with Green Lantern? Remember that? They're like, oh, this is supposed to start a cinematic universe. And then that movie fucking not only just bombed, was just not good either. And then they originally wanted Matthew Vaughn, who directed X-Men First Class, to do it. He said no. They tried to get Nolan to do it because he just came off of Dark Knight Rises. He produced Man of Steel, and he definitely has his hands all in the Man of Steel. You can tell that's definitely a lot of Nolan's style there, too, because Nolan, like Zack Snyder, they're actually decently good friends with each other. And then, Christopher Nolan recommended Zack Snyder. Warner Bros. Remembered, hey, that's the guy that directed 300 for us in Watchmen, so we'll just hire him. And then, well, Zack Snyder and Jeff Johns, before BVS, came out, had this like big cinematic presentation where we're gonna get Man of Steel, BVS, Suicide Squad, Flashpoint. Remember Justice League Part 2, 3, Shazam, Cyborg. We're gonna get a Cyborg
solo movie.
Batman solo movie. Yep. And then basically, you got a decent amount of that, but basically, after I would say definitively, after the Joss Whedon cut of Justice League, all those plans fell apart. Warner Brothers got bought out by AT&T. They put Walter Amada in charge. Jeff Johns was run ragged. He had to write comics for DC. He had to produce Stargirl. He had to freaking do that comic book event called The Button or whatever. Man was just getting diddied from all sides of the fence. He was supposed to be like the Kevin Feige because he wrote a bunch of great stories. He was just a fan favorite writer. A lot of people like his work, And to be fair, he is the perfect pick. It sucks though because I do believe if they had him and James Gunn and Peter Safran, that would be a nice Trinity combination. But Jeff Johns, wrong place, wrong time when all that was going down. And it got to a point where basically the whole universe collapsed. Like Aquaman made $1 billion, but that was just by sheer luck. And even that already has red flags to it. Why is Arthur Curry making more money than a Batman Superman movie, a Wonder Woman film, a Suicide Squad movie? Just crazy shit, right? Every movie just kept flopping after that, essentially. And I like some of these movies too. I do. I love that first Shazam movie. I think that's my favorite movie in that whole universe. That first Shazam movie is really, really fucking good. I love that movie. But it really didn't do well at the box office, like considerably. Like it debatably at most broke even. Then we got really bad shit like Birds of Prey, Wonder Woman 84, Black Adam.
Wonder Woman 84 was terrible. I love the first Wonder Woman.
First one is really good. I like the first one, yeah.
The whole DC Snyder age is really so much studio interference.
Oh yeah.
They were changing plans, moving stuff around. They were trying to get to where like Marvel took, what was it, like 10 movies to get to the Avengers, and they were trying to get to the Justice League in 2 movies. Well, technically, did Wonder Woman come out before Justice League?
Yes.
Yes.
It came out the same year, actually.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, there's
and they wanted to release Justice League to get their Christmas bonuses before the full merger. Even though Joss Whedon said I wanted more time to work on this, they were like, yeah, fuck you. That's why I always says this for Joss Whedon. I don't know how he treated people on set. That was the ultimate death trap right there for you. Yeah, he probably made so much money, he probably never has to work again. Cool.
Yeah, apparently he was very toxic on the set of the Justice League, and One of the reasons why I don't think he's got much work since Gal
All he had
Gadot
was
roasted him. I think Ben Affleck said something about it. I know the solo Batman movie, I think it got held off because of what his Ben Affleck had a bout with alcoholism, I believe.
He cheated on Jennifer Gardner with their babysitter.
Yeah,
and he had a problem with alcohol.
Issues, yeah.
And then he went and dated Jennifer Lopez again.
Yeah, that it could have been a lot better. I think now it's going to be on a right track, and it sounds like Superman's going to be a good enough hit for them to give them. They seem excited and momentum moving into the next movies. Stuff along those lines. So I think so far I'm happy to hear good things about the Superman movie.
Right.
I'm a massive Gunn fan anyways, so
I like his movies anyway.
Love it. Yeah, I'm probably gonna love it. But
also, just to put this out there as a thing, I want to make sure I let you guys know about. When we're doing this video, we have not seen the movie yet, so you're gonna see this video before we see the movie review for Superman, right? We've not seen the movie yet, so we're not basing anything we're saying off seeing the movie, because that would be just color me shocked, disingenuous. Fuck me, right? So it's also another thing where like the universe, the DCU was just falling apart. Like there was no cohesion, there was no structure, there was nothing there. I tell people this. Outside of like a few movies you liked, there was nothing there. Most of those movies are not good. First of all, Man of Steel isn't really that good. If I'm just being completely objective, I don't like it myself, but it's not good. It's not good. BVS is not good. That studio cut of Suicide Squad, not good. Wonder Woman, good. That one can go. That Joss Whedon Justice League, terrible. Outside of like one scene that I really, really like. What's that? Aquaman. It's okay. Aquaman's fine. Right?
Aquaman was a lot of fun. It was fun.
It was fine. I didn't hate it. It's fine.
Plot was, I mean, it wasn't. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't.
Plot's basic. It's not anything.
It was very basic, but it did a really good job of going from point A to point to B to the end. Good action. It's kind of funny.
They made a lot of girls wet, like I do with my wife. But.
You were talking about they weren't connected. If you look at in the Justice League Snyder cut. When Aquaman is talking with Mira, that is
I know what you're saying, the Steppenwolf.
Yeah, with the Steppenwolf fight along those lines. They couldn't talk unless they were in a bubble. Because Zack Snyder originally thought that Aquaman wouldn't be able to talk, Aqua people couldn't talk to each other unless they were in a bubble of air. So then James Wan changed that for the Aquaman movie.
And someone with actual talent changed it.
Yeah, and the Aquaman movie doesn't feel like it's connected to the Snyderverse, even though all the characters and everything's there, because the plot was like it was very much like Force Awakens, Last Jedi, where it's like these don't even feel like they're connected at all. So, but it was really fun. I mean, it's one of those movies that you might not watch 100 times, but if I went to go pay for that in the theater, I would have no problem paying money to watch the first Aquaman.
Right.
It was a lot of fun. I think Wonder Woman would have been as good if they stuck the landing, but the ending was pretty terrible. The last boss fight, it wasn't that good.
And the reason why I mentioned Studio Squad is because that's not. I don't know if David Ayer's movie would be better. I don't know, but I would imagine anything he has is much better than what we got, because that is dog shit. That movie's bad, man. I don't know what they cooked up with that, because remember at that time they wanted to capture the Guardians of the Galaxy craze and all that stuff. But different for another day with that one. After that we had Shazam. That's my favorite one. I really, really like that one. What was after that? That was Birds of Prey first. That was probably one of the worst super movies ever made. Good lord. Then you had another worst super movie ever made, which is 184. Yeah, I see the quality we're going there. Went from Aquaman, you were like, yes, it's fun. And we're like, I was like, Shazam. That's my favorite one.
Yeah.
We went to worst super movie ever made. That is the fall off in a half.
Let's say the ball keeps rolling good, and let's say Superman makes its money. Supergirl does good. If it is going to be 2 movies a year with TV shows, Clayface is coming up. That means we're going to get like 6 to 7 DC movies before we get to Avengers Doomsday. Right. So it's going to be interesting, because right now DC kind of has Marvel is doing the is in a low point, not a terrible low point, but right now they're really gearing up to try to change course. Like this is Marvel is really working hard with Fantastic Four and Avengers Doomsday to try to get back on a good track. So really the door's wide open for someone to fill in that space, and it's going to be DCU, unless the films start sucking after this one and don't make money. But by the looks of it, if everything keeps going good, I think it's going to be a DC dominant couple years until we get Avengers Doomsday. Once we get to Avengers Doomsday, if that film does good, then and sets Marvel on its new course, because they're trying to recover from losing the Kang storyline. So they've lost the Kang storyline, so now they need to kind of refocus and get into the Doom era. And that's what Avengers Doomsday should do, is launch the Doom era.
I want to ask you this before we go into the article we're going to read. What movie made you give up on that universe? Because I give up. I didn't even bother watching Blue Beetle and Aquaman 2 because I hated the Flash so much. I'm done. I'm not supporting this. Yeah, the previous universe. What was the movie you basically went, I'm done. I'm not doing this until you reboot?
It was Justice League. I was done with them on
2017 one?
Yeah, the Josh
version.
Yeah, the Josh Whedon version.
I don't think the Snyder Cut was all that much better. I think even if they had released that, I would have lost faith too. I would have been like,
I like the Snyder Cut better. But
yeah.
Still, though, that wouldn't have saved the DCU. That was a 4-hour movie, so they would have had to broke it up into 2 films or cut it down to being a 2-hour movie, which would have butchered that film. So, yeah, I was out in the Justice League because I liked Man of Steel somewhat, and Batman versus Superman I thought had potential but was massively flawed. And then when I saw Justice League, I was like, oh, this is done. Like,
Justice League should have been what the first Avengers movie was, putting the universe on the map, being this like massive hit. Because people like Drin had a first Avengers movies was you guys weren't alive back then. Younger people that are watching this, the first Avengers movie hit so hard. That's what the Justice League movie should have been, and it wasn't. Like for me, I thought the Snyder Cut was better, but even if that was released in place of Josh Whedon's movie, like that was they hadn't fired him, technically, allegedly, I wouldn't have still had faith. Come on, it's still a Justice League movie where Superman had 5 minutes of screen time. Like Darkseid came, he was U6, but he came to Earth for the anti-life equation, then forgot the anti-life equation was there. Like, just weird shit. Like, that's just me. I think it's a little bit better, but I still wouldn't have cared for it. I still would have wanted DC to change course, even if that movie was released instead of it. Because I thought that was just like, is that the future we want?
Yeah, let's say they release
the reach around joke. That joke.
Let's say they release it in 2 parts, so we get to see the whole 4-hour cut, but it's in part 1 and part 2.
Never forget this.
Besides, who's going to give you a reach around?
Yep, that's what we want. Yep.
It wouldn't have saved the DC universe at all. Like,
not even close,
Not even close.
Snyder fans remember when they said it would have made $1 billion.
No.
Yes, because the Justice League movie that came after Zach left made $1 billion, right? No, it didn't. It fucking flopped hard as hell.
And you can see this with Marvel too.
Mm-hmm.
When you get into a low, it takes more than one film to bring you out of it. Like Thunderbolts, critically and audience score was high. From what I understand, it was not a bad movie. Not a great movie, but not a bad movie.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic Four could be, might be a great movie. It's still, though, it's not going to be enough to get that faith. You need a really good, I would say, like 3 to 4 film good run before people are all like, okay, we're back and this feels good. It just can't be one movie.
Oh, I want to say this before we go into reading this, or me, because I'm going to do my perfect CNN style Scott Jennings readings. Joking, guys, joking. Jokes are allowed in this day and age. I know it's taboo to have jokes. The Snyder Cut, I'm being completely honest with you guys. I watched it once. I watched 2 hours of it one day and the 2 hours of it the next day when it premiered back like 2021. Long time ago. God damn, holy shit. I'll be honest here. Unless I literally rewatched it again, I think it's super forgettable. Honestly, like I think it's not that it's overtly bad. I think it's just forgettable. Like I don't remember much about it honestly. And keep in mind some of the scenes that were there originally. I'll be honest here. Even if they had released that in place of Josh's thing, I don't think it would have convinced me that they knew what they were doing. I think it's very forgettable. I think the performances the cast is stronger. You know, Ezra Miller is a little bit better than the Joss Whedon version, but not that much. I mean, what's the best scene from that movie? Like when he turned back time and he did his little fucking whatever. That's not running. No one
I
wants
thought
that.
his run. I thought his run was weird, but I did love the reverse time scene.
That was good.
That was one I was shocked that they took out of for the Whedon cut. But yeah, that I absolutely loved that scene. But yeah, you're right though. For the most part,
do you remember most of it? Like you have to actually think about it to remember a lot of it.
Yeah, I remember that.
I like the Superman scene where when Superman came down in the black suit and Steppenwolf tried to hit him with his axe and he caught. He was like not impressed. But then, why did he wear the black suit? It didn't. I forgot. There was no reason. No, I know in the Death of Superman, there's a reason why he wears it because it helps him absorb the radiation.
I think it was more of a callback to that.
Yeah.
So like Superman versus Batman or Batman v Superman was essentially the Death of Superman in cinematic form. And then when he comes back, he's wearing the black suit. It's more of just like a homage. I don't think it actually had any kind of like the same, because in the comic book it was like to help him absorb more sun radiation, I believe. So it was like, the Snyder cut was better a lot because the tone matched the Whedon cut.
Yeah.
The Whedon parts were just such a 1 minute like Batman salts Snyder serious, and then the next minute he's cracking a Whedon joke, and it was kind of jarring on like it was almost like two different movies.
Yeah, because like
together.
Snyder fans were like, "That's the recovery for the comics." Yes, I agree with that, but he never said why he picked it up. He just said, "Yeah, I forgot." He said it was because he said it felt right. There's no actual reason why he would have that over his blue suit. That's what people were bringing up. It's not that the fact that it was from the comic books. People knew it was from the comic books. That's not the problem. He had no reason to wear that. He just said it felt right. How would he know it feels right? He just came back alive. It's too stupid stuff. It's okay. I have the tools to cope. The life throws at me. It's fine.
Well, we don't have to worry about it anymore. The Zack Snyder cut can't touch you anymore. You're safe. We're now in the gun era.
The Joss Whedon. I know people don't like the Joss Whedon version. I don't either. It's not that good. That ending scene where I like the Amy Adams dialogue where she ended the movie off, where it was basically she's like superheroes are gonna have to go and do everything on their own, and Flash is gonna go do his little thing. Wonder Woman's back in the real world, everyone knows her. Batman's I'll be honest here, I really love it's a joke, to be fair. I really love the ending of the Joss Whedon version. That Amy Adams voiceover to end the movie where everyone's doing their own thing and Batman's like having his jet there. He's about to do another adventure. And then when she says, if you want to see a superhero and you have to just look up in the sky and Henry Cavill rips open and flies off. I was like, wow, what an awesome fucking way to end a movie in a fucking terrible piece of shit I had to watch for 2 hours. That might be one of my favorite superhero movie endings ever.
That's like getting an ice cream cone after you got into a car wreck. It's like you're sitting there in traction, but hey, at least you get some ice cream.
Oh, God. Saving a studio. This looks like a job for Superman or my dad, which has, little impact in my life ever, if none at all. The Man of Steel is back in a new $225 million reboot. It's the last best hope for DC Comics to match the success of the Marvel Industrial Complex. They could have just said Marvel Studios, but whatever, it's fine. That's a cool little. I'm stealing that for the video. I'm not gonna lie. I'm literally downloading that for the video. That is the thumbnail. Oh my goodness. Hold on. What the heck? That's crazy. They wanted me to subscribe to that. Hold on. Don't worry. I will fix this right now. I literally had it open earlier today. One sec. Don't worry. I didn't just fumble an entire video. Don't worry.
We're still good.
Technically, maybe. Who knows?
How's everyone in the chat doing? WC, what is up? Always good. DK Bones, Miss Sparkles. How you guys doing tonight?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, and if you guys get a chance, check out the 3rd issue of my series, The Adventures of Sig and Joe, now on Global Comics.
This man's just shilling.
I'm filling airtime. You want me just to let? Okay, fine.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry. I have all the cliff notes. Don't worry.
You can just edit it out.
I have the cliff notes, bastard. Okay, these are the cliff notes, the major ones right here. So we're gonna go through a history lesson of everything, but don't worry. We already kind of did it in the first part of the video. Don't worry. Don't worry. We didn't just completely collapse in the middle part of this. It didn't happen at all. So do you guys remember that Ta-Nehisi Coates' Black Superman movie? These are the bullet points for it. David Zaslav dismissed the script as too woke, focused on the character during the civil rights era. James Gunn can still try to make the movie in the future. This just basically means no. Thank God this shit is gone. Nobody wanted this. Nobody wanted that. Not a single person was asked.
Was that the one Michael B. Jordan was attached to for a bit?
They actually never, to be fair, they actually never casted anything. It was just announced.
Oh,
okay. This was something that they were thinking about doing.
Just make an animated movie out of it.
But the backlash was so... I remember when that article came out from the Hollywood Reporter. Remember, the backlash was so bad, they literally didn't do it at all. You barely heard about this ever. No one wants this. Not even people that say they would watch it want it. They're just saying it for virtue signaling points. Yeah, I would like a Black Superman movie. No, really? Would you? You would really fucking want a Black Superman movie? But there's Black Superman in the comic books. Name me them. They're like, his name is Jabubu Nene Shaniqua. Okay, all right, Mr.
I would honestly rather see a Steel movie than this. Like, let Ta-Nehisi Coates do Steel. Like, or, I can't do Static Shock because of copyright. Not copyright. Something to do, like, James Gunn said that they can't do Static Shock because of legal. It's almost kind of like the Incredible Hulk situation, but I don't know if it's because of distribution or if, like, that animation company has the rights. I'm not 100% sure. But Static Shock will not be around any time in the future, which is sad because I think he's a great character.
Oh God. Okay, we're saved. I remember I had these planned. Don't worry, guys. Okay, so I'm almost there. I think I had some recovery ones. I don't want people spoiling the movie for me. Why do people have articles about Superman holding his breath underwater? What in the world? It's almost like he's mega superpowered, honestly. Hold on, give me 1 second here. How do you see your history on these things? Don't worry, guys. Warren's here. He's gonna save the video. Don't worry. I have Warren. All right. So we'll just go over these two to salvage what I'm doing right now. Okay, so we'll do 18 hours ago. And this was... All right. So let's do it. Good Lord. Fucking Wall Street Journal, you bastard. So when I told you guys we're going to Wall Street Journal, I lied. I literally freaking lied. You know what? I am just like my dad and like most black people. I lie. Good Lord. All right. So Superman's budget and how much it needs to make at the box office to succeed. Explained. The new Superman movie has a big box office challenge ahead of it if it wants to make back its budget and turn a profit. But the DC universe seems to be off to a solid start. When Screen Rant and other members of the media visited the Superman set in 2024, James Gunn spoke about the movie's importance for the DCU's other projects. A lot is riding on Superman, so the movie has to be a hit. That said, Gunn has recently stated in interviews that the situation is not nearly as dire as some believe. The director would be happy if David Cornsweet's Man of Steel and the rest of the Superman movie cast helped the DCU's first film make back its budget. Superman broke ticket pre-sales and trailer records before release. That points to what should be a successful box office run. According to the numbers, Henry Cavill's Man of Steel ended its global run with $668 million. Now, adjusted for inflation, that could be higher than what is stated right there. Typically, you're supposed to do adjusted for inflation. I don't, because I don't even know what that number would be in those years anyway. So I just go off the number I see, because I'm a fucking, top G, hot, sexy, charismatic Rizmaster, and Warren would agree. Right, Warren? Yes. Thank you.
What?
The film is the highest grossing Superman solo movie, thus a good target for Gunn and DC. Here's where the Superman movie projections stand. Also, keep in mind, I know Gunn has said it's not that dire. Okay, I don't know James Gunn as a person, but buddy, they did not give you 200 million. Sorry, I'll say this. They did not give you almost $300 million for you to not make your money back. I don't know who told you that. I don't know what executive sweet talked you into hearing that. Studios will literally fire you in a heartbeat. Ask your buddy, Zack Snyder, when his adopted daughter, passed away when he was filming Justice League overseas when BVS came out. They'll fire you in a second. Anyone that says that is lying to you. Yeah, I just gave you $300 million, and I just kind of, hope to get my money back. I didn't actually want my money back. God, crazy, right? No! What's wrong with you, James? Holy fuck. I like James Gunn, but when he said that, I'm like, dude, you're a crackhead. No studio gave this man almost $400 million and said, come on, I don't need my money back. Source, trust me, bro. What? The budget of Gunn's Superman movie has been somewhat complicated to pinpoint, as there are conflicting reports about where it exactly lands. The Hollywood Reporter proposed that the DC film had a $363.8 million budget, which would make it one of the most expensive films ever made. That came from documents that had been filed with the Ohio government incentives. I mean, only one person we know around here works with the government, and that would be a certain clout-chasing bastard that I know. He is white, actually, He is married and good-looking and rich and successful, unlike me, a fucking virgin incel nerd who sits in his house all day streaming. Crazy. Do you know that is, Warren?
What's that?
Oh, God, I hate you. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, fucking hell. God, Warren got me. Oh, no. Oh, God. That lofty number does not even include the marketing budget for Superman. According to THR, DC could spend a total of $200 million to promote the film, which is more than the usual $150 million marketing budget for summer blockbusters. If those numbers were accurate, then James Gunn's Superman movie would have a hard time in the battle for profitability. However, it might not be as it seems. The same report claims that DC suggests the budget for Superman is $225 million after the tax breaks and incentives the movie was granted. That seems like a more realistic number for the film, being the same as what Zack Snyder had to work with for the DCEU's first movie, Man of Steel. The math to find out how much Superman needs at the box office to become successful varies depending on what budget is to be believed. Based on what DC suggests is accurate, Gunn's Superman should be well underway to become profitable by the end of its opening weekend. A movie needs to make 2 times to 2.5 times its budget to be profitable. Not exactly true either. You have to include marketing with that too. Like, people say that marketing is separate from the movie itself. No, it's not. Okay, so I give you a budget for a movie. Let's say I give Warren $50 million for a movie, okay? So then I give you $100 million on top of that, not including the budget, to promote that movie. They're both intertwined. One is to promote the movie, one is to make the movie. They're the same.
And it has to be 2 times as much to essentially consider it to start being successful. But that's only the bare bottom line of success. Yeah.
Also, keep in mind, guys, the theaters take their 50% cut. So whatever amount of money a movie made, you guys need to minus however much percentage from it. Sorry, I just sneezed there. That accounts for the production and marketing budgets as well as other expenses. I don't think so. No. The budget is separate from its marketing budget. No way. Taking the reported $225 million budget for Superman, the DCU's first movie would need to end its global box office run in the $450 to $562.5 million range to manage to break even. Keep in mind, They just said it. Oh, whatever. It can't hurt me. Like Warren said, it can't hurt me.
It can't hurt you.
Okay. Anything above that would put Superman into success territory, which is what DC is gunning for. I mean, if the company says $500 million is okay for them, that's still not. That's cope. What kids say these days. That's.
Well,
I mean,
the only thing I can think of is like if Warner Brothers is like, okay, if this film doubles its budget and marketing, then we'll consider it good. Because they could be thinking like, okay, that's good momentum moving into Supergirl. And then if we keep getting positive momentum, we'll start hitting that billion mark like Marvel did. Marvel started rolling into it with film, Iron Man, Captain America, and then getting along those lines. So that might be the thought process, because it's like, okay, we're going to invest into multiple films. So if every film does its budget plus, then that's good. We're good to go on that. I'm not 100% sure, but they definitely would love it to be $1 billion movie. Yeah, I don't know. Ask the chat. Does it look like a $363 million budget movie? Like, that does seem a bit high, especially for a film that didn't have any issues, from what I understand, behind the scenes. So, 363.8 million seems a bit high. But even the 250 or 225, then with a $200 million budget, if for the marketing, if they went that high, that's $450 million. So they would have to make $900 million to be considered a success. I don't know if they spent $200 million on marketing.
you never know, honestly. Yeah.
I would believe 150, or I'd believe 100, but I don't know if I believe 200 million.
If the reports of a $363.8 million budget are to be believed, then that mark would need to rise. James Gunn's Superman would have to meet the $727.6 to $909.5 million range to reach its break-even point. That notion seems hard to believe, and according to GQ interview with Gunn, it's completely inaccurate. Gunn debunked it, saying it's just complete and utter nonsense. But that's not really debunking it. That's just saying he's just saying it's not true, but there's no way to prove that he's saying is. You would just have to believe him. I think the budget is $200 million, given the way that movie looks. There's no way you spent less than $200 million on that shit. There's no way. I will not believe it. And I know they spent about $100 million to market it, because why would they not? They wouldn't spend anything less than $100 million to market it. That's how these things usually go. In that interview, Gunn once again confirmed that there are plans riding on Superman's success. However, the director claims it doesn't need to be as big of a situation as people are saying. With Henry Cavill's Man of Steel making $668 million worldwide to become the highest-grossing Superman solo movie, David Cornsweet's DC hero should aim to match or surpass that mark. With over 250 million views in 24 hours, Superman has become the most viewed /DC Warner Brothers trailer ever. That pointed to the movie doing great at the box office, which was recently reinforced by the fact that Superman marked Fandango's biggest first day of pre-sales for 2025. All of that excitement has since translated into a healthy box office projections. On the back of strong reviews, Superman has an 85% critic score with my wife. I'm joking, guys. I'm joking. Superman has an 85% critic score and 96% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes at the time of writing. The movie is projected to have a major box office run. According to box office analyst Luis Fernando, which is my wife's boyfriend, Superman's opening weekend is projected to be in the $230 to $250 million range, which would be exciting for its chances. If that were to hold, then Gunn's Superman would make its budget, not accounting for marketing, in just its opening weekend. As for where Superman's new flight could lead, a comparison with similar DC releases could help place it. The Batman opened to $258 million and ended at $772. Man of Steel debuted at $200 million and finished at $668. Since James Gunn's Superman movie is projected to have a global opening weekend of $230 to $250 million, that would put the film in between those in those releases. A realistic projection would have Superman's final box office land at $700 to $850 million mark. As long as it has the box office legs, the positive reviews suggest it will, Superman should top the Heroes live action franchise. So I will say this. I actually forgot the projections for it. Wasn't it supposed to be projected domestically to be like 150, 170, something like that? I forgot, honestly. So I think by the end of its run, if it wants to be, because you mind, the budget and marketing are all over the place right now, I would have to say $800 million. I'm just being just a number out there. About $800 million.
That sounds about right, honestly. That's what I'm thinking.
What they want is like Minecraft numbers. If they got a Minecraft end, they'd be fucking happy with that. That'd be just a slam dunk.
Oh, yeah, they would go nuts. But I think they'd be happy with 800.
Yeah. I think at $800 million, I wouldn't say you made a lot of profit, but I would say you make like, there's a little bit of money you can
I think
there.
that's a good start. It'd be the highest grossing solo Batman or Superman
the
film
Snyder Bros.
Ever. It would be the
already.
Snyder's Man of Steel cut. So I would think, I think 800 million Warner Bros. Would be very happy with that. Of course, if they did more, then of course they'd be ecstatic. It's going to be interesting to see how much of a derailer Fantastic Four is going to be. I don't know. The newest, they did a new TV spot for there that showed even more of Galactus and more of Reed in action. So the film's starting to look better.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much that's going to carry the momentum and derail Superman. But you might see a situation. I imagine Superman will be number one until Fantastic Four comes out.
Right.
And then most likely be dethroned at that point.
James Gunn's Justice League reboot and Superman spinoff plans outlined in new DC Universe report. James Gunn's DC Universe may already have plans for Superman spinoff projects and a roadmap to a Justice League reboot movie, according to one DC report. The Superman movie starring David Cornsweet as the Man of Steel is finally hitting theaters this week and helping flesh out the DCU timeline for the new shared franchise. But Gunn's Superman film is only the beginning, as the DCU's Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, has several movies and TV shows in the works of DC Studios. While a Justice League project may not have been announced initially, a new update may finally shed some light on what DC has in mind for the iconic team. According to a new Wall Street Journal report, which we were going to read before they try to make me pay for that shit. Like, what the hell? DC Studios is considering not one, but two Superman spinoff TV shows based on two specific movie characters. According to a knowledgeable person, Wall Street Journal reports that one would be for Mr. Terrific, while the other would be for the other Superman spinoff would be for Jimmy Olsen. No one wants to see a Jimmy Olsen spinoff. Just tell you right now. Just make this one. Who the fuck would want what? Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. The Wall Street Journal report addresses that the plan for DC Studios is to release at least 2 live-action movies a year, as well as an animated one, along with numerous DCU TV shows, primarily for HBO Max. The strategy is to reestablish all of DC's most well-known characters before they then unite them in a new Justice League film. Also, so that means, is DC finally going to do what fans have been asking for? Release your damn animated movies in theaters? But keep in mind, this is not that previous animated universe they were doing, guys. This would be one in, continuity. But for DC's animation, it's always been pretty good, barring, a few stinkers here and there. I would like if they released an animated movie in theaters. I don't see why this whole notion that animation is lesser because it's not live action is the cringiest thing ever. The best Batman movies ever made are animated. Mask the Phantasm and Under the Red Hood. Better than anything live action ever created for The Dark Knight.
Arguably, the best Spider-Man movies are animated. Across the universe, the Spider-Verse ones.
Very good. Yep. At the time of this story's publication, Gunn, DC Studios, and Warner Brothers Discovery have not commented on the Wall Street Journal's DC report. As DC Studios has new Batman and Wonder Woman movies in development, the Wall Street Journal's DC report is not too surprising since this lines up perfectly well with what Gunn has been wanting to do with the franchise. Currently, it seems the DCU is not looking to rush a Justice League movie until this franchise is properly established. Yes, good. That's all I've said. It's like when you meet a girl at a bar and you riz her up like me, and then she comes home, she blows you, fucking Hulk mouse on your cock to the fucking balls, and then you think you love her, so you marry her. She takes all your goddamn money. She takes your food. She eats the food out of your fridge. She uses your hot water. She has her fucking bras and underwear in your fucking bathroom sink. She leaves hair everywhere. Her fucking
what does
breath
this
stinks.
have to do with the DCU's Justice League build-up? Like what? You just
Oh, God. Just saying. That's what DC were doing. They were basically going to the bar one night and getting married to the first whore that blew them. Just saying. Oh, God. The idea of Superman TV spinoffs for Mr. Terrific and Jimmy Olsen is also not shocking, although whether or not those are exact concepts that are being considered is unclear. No one wants a Jimmy Olsen anything. Jimmy Olsen's better next to Superman. This is a problem that Marvel fell into. Stop making spin-off shows for characters that shine only when they're next to someone else. Jimmy Olsen only shines next to Superman as his friend. That's it. Nothing else. And no one will watch that shit either. And if they say they were going to watch it, they weren't, because they're also fucking virtue signaling lying bastards. Whether these projects happen could also come down to how their characters are received by fans as Superman makes its way into theaters. It's possible that their respective Superman spinoffs shows could evolve into something else, but still have them each be a leading character. However, until Gunn, DC Studios, and Warner Bros. Discovery make any statements on this DC report, it remains to be seen if this is actually the strategy that they are working with for the new superhero franchise. Because remember, a lot of these studios guys this year are not going to go to Comic-Con. Every studio is not attending. But that's actually good, because then it could just be about comics. That sounds great, honestly. While time will tell if this will get confirmed, this is definitely an exciting report for the DCU, especially for the Justice League. If this is the way Gunn plans to get that, if this is the way Gunn plans to get to that team outside of Batman and Wonder Woman, this report hopefully means that more details on other Justice League characters will emerge sooner rather than later, like The Flash and Aquaman. Why can't James Gunn just recast Grant Gustin? Why can't Grant Gustin be the Flash of this universe? He obviously...
he said today that he wants to play it still.
Yeah, why can't Stephen Amell be the Green Arrow? Stephen Amell...
I don't know about that part.
He needs to do the comic Oliver, the wisecracking comedic, Oliver, not that serious Batman one.
Is not a good actor. So just let someone else play it.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, like Ezra Miller. What if Ezra
Miller? No. Someone who's not in a cult or like kidnapping people.
Damn. So that's most of Hollywood. Oh, jokes aside, guys. Given how many rich characters are a part of the Superman cast, spinoffs are definitely something that is likely to happen in some capacity. But for now, fans will have to wait and see if the DCU's Justice League plans and the potential Superman spinoffs are happening or not. So much stuff happening with DC right now, guys. So much stuff. And then we have one more thing. That Black Superman we talked about. Yeah, those were the cliff notes earlier. This is the actual... Good Lord. Yep. God. No one wants to see this shit. Dude, imagine this. Imagine Clark Kent was black and he came down from Krypton and landed in Compton instead of Kansas, and he started saying the N-word. He went to Batman, was like, yo, what's up, my NIGGA? You'd be like, bruh, that'd be cringe trash. Bruh. Nobody wants this. This was hated upon announcement, and anyone that says that, oh, well, skin tone doesn't matter for Superman, you're a moron. Jerry Siegel and Joel Shuster want Superman to look like that. The people that, I don't know, made Superman and made superheroes a thing in America. Yeah, they want Superman to look like that, so they get their fucking wish, because that's how it works here. Fucking hell. Black Superman movie was reportedly canceled for being too woke. Base David Zaslav. That's so base. Like, no one wanted that. Nobody wanted a Black Superman movie written by Ta-Nehisi Coates who made fun of 9/11 responders. No one wanted that. That would have made $5 and a bucket of popcorn at the box office. Literally would have made you $5. No one would have watched that. Not a single person would have went and saw that. None of you in the chat would have watched it, and I wasn't gonna watch that. Nah, I'm good. You can fuck off with that. You make that, I'm not watching. I'm literally not. I'd rather literally go outside, hang myself, than fucking watch that shit. You couldn't pay, even if I was a paid show, you couldn't pay me to watch that dog shit. Fucking hell. Civil War, Clark Kent, black. Yeah, that's how you get the fans back. Because all James Gunn has talked about this past time since he's been like the Kevin Feige for DC was we want to get the fans and the fans this and the fans that. We want to do this character, that character. Yeah, not a single person was interested in that. The Black Superman movie has been canceled as a shocker to no one. A shocker to no one. David Cornsweet's take on Clark Kent just debuted in the new DC universe. The highly anticipated film is making waves at the box office, already surpassing projections, which could lead to Superman recouping its budget and then some. While the DCU has its own Superman, another version of the character was scrapped. According to a new DC report from the Wall Street Journal, the Black Superman movie by writer Ta-Nehisi Coates was canceled for being too woke in the eyes of Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav. After he assumed the studio, after he took over the studio back in 2022, the planned Superman movie reimagining would have focused on a black Superman in the civil rights era. You guys wanted to see that?
Oh, it was civil rights, not civil war. Civil rights era. Okay, that's like MLK era. Okay.
Yep, that's exactly what. Oh, good lord, that would have been such a train wreck. Thank God, David Zaslav saved us from a train wreck. J.J. Abrams was originally set to produce it. Oh God, this.
Well, before they hired Gunn, they were starting to bring JJ in.
The guy that they gave $200 million to produce nothing. Yep. Yeah. Thank God this company got taken over. Thank God. J.J. Abrams being set to produce is already such an L. J.J. Abrams was originally set to produce the Black Superman movie, among other DC ventures. While Zaslav killed the project years ago, the new DC report reveals there is still a possibility it could come back. Or you could say it could come black, right? No. According to the Wall Street Journal, the Black Superman movie could still happen in the future under James Gunn and Peter Safran's DC studio. If it's like a Val Zod movie, I'm not gonna lie. If it's a Val Zod movie in the DCU on a different universe, not Clark Kent, his own thing, that's fine. I just don't want it to be Clark Kent because that's fucking like he's not black. Sorry, Superman
this should be an animated movie. Find his run and make an animated movie on it, and that would be cool. And then maybe work him into the regular continuity if you wanted to, especially if you start messing with any kind of multiverse shit or along those lines, or rewrite his origin to make him fit in the new Gunn universe. But yeah, don't do the whole civil rights pre-era. Just Clark. Yeah, no. It should be a different character.
How much money would that movie have made at the box office?
Not much. It would have been a failure, probably like a Birds of Prey type level failure.
Probably would have. It certainly would have been one of the movies of all time. It would have been a Morbius level. God, yeah. I would have loved to see the YouTube comment section roasting that movie for it to have been like, hey, this fucking Clark. Hey, like the comment would have been like, man, Clark looking really dark these days. God, I could have. God, man, we missed a great YouTube comment section. You guys should go read the comment section under the Morbius and Sony movies. There's a Morbius comment where a dude wrote 8 paragraphs of what it was like after watching Morbius. Funniest shit I've ever read on the internet. Before the report, a long time had passed without updates on the state of the Black Superman movie. With Abrams' other DC projects being scrapped and a new version for the studio coming together under Gunn and Safran, it seemed like there would not be any space left for the project. The notion has now proven to be true. However, with the report leaving the door open for the Black Superman movie to come black under DC Studios, there is a way it could happen. While David Cornsweet is the Superman of the shared DCU. The studio now has the Elseworlds label for DC projects that exist outside the canon of Gunn's DC universe. Much like how Robert Pattinson's Batman will remain separate from the DCU in Matt Reeves' The Batman universe, the Black Superman movie could exist as an Elseworlds entry by taking place in the civil rights era and focusing on a different Man of Steel. The project could easily exist alongside Corn Sweat's Superman. However, the Black Superman movie seems unlikely. But wasn't the point of this universe supposed to be like, hey, we just have one version of the character and you just follow that? I would say it's way easier. Before any of this would happen, you need to baby steps first. Just Clark Kent, build Batman, build Wonder Woman, build. You get my point here? Barry, build Green Arrow, Oliver Queen, build that. It's like, come on. They're trying to jump from like Superman. Why not just fucking start doing God, the Authority? We could do a Kite Man movie. Goodness gracious. The Black Superman movie's cancellation was not surprising. After all, that has happened at DC with the change of leadership, recastings, and new universe. It seemed hard to believe that such a distinct project would work as a new Superman was being established. No, it wouldn't. No one wanted that. Fucking idiot. While the concept showed promise, it didn't. It sounds fucking retarded. David Cornsweat's Superman is more than enough on the movie side for now. Yeah, it is. No one wanted this. Keep on how they didn't mention the reason why it was canceled. If it was canceled because it's too woke, I would agree. No one fucking wants a Black Superman. Okay, so here for me, because it said it was canceled for being too woke. They didn't actually go over what it had said. Crazy. But it was just a headline that did it. All right, so woke for me is like if you were to do that, you would make a character is this with its race, and you would change it. That will be woke for me.
Yeah. That's essentially, that's what happened. And then the CEO saw it and was like, listen, no, I've already.
It's like, listen, hold on.
We're already shit canning Batgirl, and no one's going to get to see that. We had, we've already had plenty of problems with the Snyderverse. So I don't want it to be around anything that it gets to too preachy or too pandering. So then, so that they just, that's why they moved on. Plus, it's Gunn's universe now. And if Gunn wants to do it, he can bring it in or something along those lines.
Oh, also today, happy birthday to Rachel Brosnahan. She turns 35. She's looking really hot.
Happy birthday.
Yep. For sure would bang. For sure would. Not even a question in my mind. Would for sure do it. I know all you guys would too. And I know they revealed like the salaries of like a lot of the people working on the movie, but that stuff doesn't matter to me, honestly. I could care less how much fucking what's his name who plays Lex Luthor now? Nicholas Hoult. I could care less how much.
Yeah, Nicholas Hoult.
I hope he gets the bag. I hope he does.
Well, he was the big. He's a bigger named actor. He's been in a bunch of stuff, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Oh,
the last Corn Sweat goes through his. And I know it's not pronounced Corn Sweat, but I'm going to start calling him Corn Sweat.
I always pronounced it that. Maybe I'm wrong, but who knows? I'm black.
Sweat or something
Corn
like
Sweat. No one told me these things.
I like Corn Sweat though, so I want to stick with that.
Good Lord. So this was not in there as well. From the Screen Rant ones where they collected the Wall Street Journal's reports.
Yeah.
This was the one that people were trying to basically pinpoint down as a theory, but was true. Like, I'll say this. The Rock really did try to essentially come in and take over. He tried to do it Fast and Furious. I don't know why people didn't think he would try to do it with DC. The only way that panned out is if Black Adam was a success at the box office, and it wasn't, because that's not just the fault on The Rock. If the biggest movie star in the world can't get your movie to $500 million, that's more a problem with the state of the movie industry than like the universe itself. But keep in mind, I think both things are true. State of the movie going is bad, but like people had already given up on that universe by the time that movie even came out. So even when Black Adam came out, nobody cared. Like nobody. Keep in mind, Black Adam is only known to like DC comic fans that read the book sometimes. Like people know that Shazam's only villain in people's minds is him, right? But Black Adam's not like a known named villain, you know?
Yeah. But the problem with Black Adam was The Rock interfered too much.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, they were going to have, instead of the Justice Society, I believe it was going to be the Shazam family actually coming and attacking him, and then end up working together to defeat the bad guy, so that he gets So it was kind of the same plot, but instead of Justice Society, take them out and add in the Flash, the Shazam family, because they just had Shazam 2 where the whole family was in there. I think that would have been better personally, but The Rock was the one that didn't want Shazam in the film.
You
He
could
didn't
tell,
want
yeah.
any of that stuff mentioned. He was trying to make him this anti-hero, and then they was going to kind of, he wanted to relaunch the whole DCU around him, and he was planning to do stuff with
Remember it was
Henry
Black Man? I was
Cavill.
like, Black Adam versus Superman. Remember how he announced a Black Adam versus Superman film, and Black Adam hadn't even came out?
Yeah, so he really wanted to take the reins and roll with it, but Black Adam. Now, I don't personally think Black Adam is a terrible movie. I think it was. Have a good night, Laps. I don't think it was a terrible movie at all. I thought The Rock was kind of flat. He was very uncharismatic, but the action was good. Pierce Brosnan as was a Dr. Fate was amazing.
He was the only thing I liked about the movie. Everything else was just kind of meh to me, honestly.
I liked the kid who played. What was his name? Was it Goliath? Or what was the name of the kid who?
Atomic Man, I think his name is.
Atomic,
yeah. His name. Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
I liked that kid. The chick that did the tornado thing was pretty cool. It wasn't terrible. It just wasn't really pulled off that well. Especially as your generic CG bad guy ending too, which was just it was just everything was forced.
Yeah, I think the movie this is not a movie that even when you watched it you were like, yeah, we can build off this movie. You remember what The Rock used to say? It was the hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change. No, it didn't.
Yeah,
nothing changed.
No, nothing changed. Oh,
nothing changed. That was bold. And he put so much faith in those Snyder fans because he was pandering hard to those Snyder fans because he had the chance to bring back Henry Cavill, and then all that depended on Black Adam doing well at the box office, and it didn't because Black Adam failed completely and it also isn't his fault. That universe was already given up on way before this movie ever came out. People that already were like, you know what? We're done with this movie. David Zaslav was in talks with The Rock on how to fix DC. That's how you knew they were desperate. He's talking to The Rock on how to fix DC. The fucking Rock. But talks quickly ended after Black Adam flopped. And I remember the red carpet premiere. Remember the interviewers were asking Rock, what would you like to do with DC? Would you like to be a part of their new team they're building? Because this is the time they're trying to build the Kevin Feige and all that stuff. He was like, yeah, I'd love to be on their advisory team. They were The Rock as an advisor on DC. Now that's probably better than Tom King and Christina Hodson, but we're not making any better here, actually.
Yeah. Well, The Rock was on a roll there, and he was a pretty good Hollywood action star. But it seems like when you hear about the flops, it's when he's trying to take the reins of his own destiny, if you will. He wants to be in more control. He wants more creative control, and it's not always working out the best for him. I think The Rock is constantly. He's better than when he first started, and I don't think he's a bad actor by no means. He's a pretty good charismatic actor, but at the same time, though, it's like, yeah, you gotta not be so eager. You came in strong on the DCEU fans, and they were kind of upset with the whole Snyder thing, and here comes in The Rock, and then the movie comes out. It's like, no, you're not it. You're not him.
Yeah, God, and because people factor in Henry Cavill was going to leave The Witcher anyway. It felt like he was going to already get the hell out of that.
Well, they were already getting fights with him because of story and how far away they were going away from canon. So, and I still don't blame Cavill. I don't think he's a bad Superman, even though he wasn't a good Clark Kent. But at the same time, though, it sounds like this corn sweat's doing a lot better anyways.
God, I can't believe David Zaslav was in talks with Dwayne Rock Johnson. Rock Johnson. That's how you knew their ass was fucking desperate as hell.
You
But yeah, man.
smell.
Was he gonna make a DC movie called Rock Bottom or something? Because that's what that franchise was at that moment. Rock
You would have
Bottom.
seen a rock bottom in Black Adam versus Superman. You would have seen a rock bottom, probably a rock bottom from like the air down into the city streets. But yeah, there would have been at least one.
So I'll get your final thoughts and opinions for everything we covered. You know, Black Superman movie. Pretty sure that was gonna be a movie never coming out like that Ray Solo movie.
Yeah, that was a non-starter from the very beginning. It would have made more sense to go animated. They had just done like a straight-to-video animated film like they've done with other stuff. But I think DC is on a really good path. They've got a window of opportunity because after Fantastic Four, there's going to be no more. There's not going to be another Marvel movie until Avengers Doom. There is going to be a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
In 2027 December will be Avengers Doomsday. There will be a Spider-Man between there, but no other Marvel movies. So DC has an opening right now where there's kind of a lack in the market. If Superman sounds like it's doing good, I think we're going to have DC kind of dominance for the next couple years.
You would hope, yeah. It's the perfect opportunity right now when people are not as high on the MCU, you know?
Well, yeah. And it's not like Superman is tearing the world up in positivity either. So it's not like Marvel couldn't. If Avengers Doomsday does great, let's say it's an amazing movie, and it makes its $2 billion, and Marvel could easily be, well, Marvel's back, number one, boof. I know I said one film couldn't do it, but if it is that kind of amazing film where everyone at the end of it can't wait for the next thing, it could be another kind of swing in the momentum, back and forth. But I think right now DC is going to be strong and in the lead while Marvel reforms and gets its act together. And I think so far it looks like DC's off to a good start. So we'll know more after the first weekend.
Yep, that's true. So, as far as the Black Superman movie, no one wanted that garbage. The future of the universe is really just dependent on how much money and enthusiasm the Superman movie is going to bring in. They have a good opportunity right now when, the MCU isn't really, putting out the best movies at all. Because, Fantastic Four, I'm sure looking forward to that one with Pedro Pascal. Have you guys seen? There was a video I saw yesterday. So Vanessa Kirby's pregnant, not in the movie. Well, she's pregnant in the movie too, but she's literally real life pregnant. And she's at this photo shoot, and she's doing some poses, whatever. Looking pretty good. But Pedro Pascal's making like these weird, cringy noises next to her. Fuck, that guy is so weird.
Good Lord. Weird. He gets weirder and weirder.
He's always talking about troon women because he probably bangs them in threesomes because he's a freaking loony troon himself. What else is there? Superman's budget. Yeah, this movie has to make money. I mean, I know James Gunn's coping and saying it doesn't have to be that big. The studio will tell you one thing and then want something different when the actual results pan out. But I hope Superman is a big hit at the box office. I'm going to be watching it on Monday. We're going to have our Superman open spoiler discussion on the MSK show Monday, 7 p.m. PST. When you're watching this video, it's going to be already out before that one. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this entertaining quality content. So thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, and we're going to sign out, guys. See you guys later. Goodbye. Peace. And now we're going to wrap it up here in just a moment. Lunchbox Warren.
I need to go to bed. I'm tired.
God, I'm old.
I know.
Anything you want to bring up before we head out?
Catch me on here on Sunday for my draw stream. And if you like to read digital comics, check out my work on Global Comics. And it's Global Comics, and comics is spelled with an X. I have 3 issues of my comic book out there right now, and also a one-shot for free. So check out that stuff on there, and hopefully I see some of you wonderful people in the comments, in my comments on Sunday. But that's about it, though.
Hell yeah. So, as you guys know from myself, tomorrow we're going to do a watch party on Rumble and X for MSI 2025 Finals. Cloud9 podcast episode potentially after that. Or if not, we'll just push it off and do it Tuesday. And then Sunday, I'm going to do a MSK show episode with Professor Savage Dad around 8 p.m. PST. We're going to bring that show white and black. Then Monday, big episode for the MSK show. We're going to do our Superman open spoiler discussion, 7 p.m. PST. It's going to be a banger there. Can't wait to destroy Last Comic Fan and Superman debates. Just going to annihilate him, completely clap him. You know, see, Walter's going to be there for Warren, but he's not going to be there for me. It's okay, Walter. It's okay. It's okay, man. I know you pick
Walter's
favorites,
awesome.
and I'm sure. God, damn it. What else is there? Yeah, that's it. Because I'll have to see how the week pans out. Tuesday we have the show with me and Labs Comic Fan, and then if we didn't do the Cloud9 podcast on Saturday, we're gonna do it on Tuesday. I'll just let Chaz know. So, yeah, thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK Show.